Hello, ModifiedRabbit here. We gotta wait for a couple of people maybe to get in here, or one people, or not wait at all because most people, I start these, kind of late. Most people kind of watch them later, so I guess we could just get started. But today we're doing not just one palette from Pat McGrath, but we got two palettes. One of them's an actual full-size palette and one's a mini palette. And then I've got a single shade and a lip balm to go over today because I figured I'm probably not going to get a hold of any more Pat McGrath stuff for a very long time, if at all, because it's expensive. So I figured I'd go ahead and just do all of it because, that tiny mini palette it's so small. I can't, I wouldn't really want to just do a live on its own just for that, So I'm just like grouping all of this stuff together. Let's see if I can mess with the lighting here. We're gonna mess with the lighting just a little bit for swatching purposes, like we usually do. I have three lights that come on over here, and you kind of like click it to turn one off and whatnot. So I try to do just one, to try and make that a little less of a harsh. This webcam just does not want to focus. To make it a little less harsh. Hello, Bandit. On things, but it was too dark, so I put it on 2, and it's still really harsh. But at least it's not as bad as three of them. So, and maybe hopefully this ring light can help a little bit to make things a little even. And then like we've got the little webcam ring light, and see, like I need to like just get right there, like something like that. I need to like get something to like a screen or something that semi blocks the light right there. Like mutes it, because it's just the one light is not enough, but the 2 is just slightly too much. So I don't know, like I really need to just get a hold of another one of these ring lights and then just turn them both up and turn that light off, because that would be great. I should probably just like look that up after this, because or the next, well, probably have to be the next commission that I get for my artwork, because then I can, actually afford the ring light. They're not very expensive, but I'm a little commission artist, and we be poor a lot of the time. All right, so what we got here today is this Pat McGrath palette. It's the Mothership 7 Divine Rose. I believe it's the first one. I was just mentioning, I'm a poor little whatever artist. So those of you that don't know, I won this. Like this, I did not buy this. The makeup group that I'm in on Facebook is called Makeup by Design. The admins and mods there spoil us so bad with their challenges and everything, and flash giveaways and stuff. But one of the main admins had her birthday recently, and she had 2 big prize, packages, and I won first place, which included this and a whole bunch of other stuff that's all pink themed and stuff like that. So I'm so excited. But this is going to be super great to like go over these in depth and stuff. And then we've got this tiny little palette. It's one of the, let's see, the Eye Ecstasy. This is the subversive one, and it's got 5 very small shadows. And that one I got on sale for like 14 bucks, like 14 bucks. It's tiny, but Pat McGrath quality. It's, and then this was on sale when I got it too. I think it was like maybe 19. I just really wanted it. I kind of splurged on that, like this is the, let's see, which one is this? It's a lip finish lip balm. I can't remember which one it is. Gold Astral. So we've got that, and then they had the singles on sale that I had gotten, and we're gonna go over this. I was excited. I tried to swatch this on my own. I haven't gone over this with anybody yet, though, so you guys get to my thoughts on this. So I'm glad it was on sale. I'll just say that. So we'll probably do all the small stuff first, and then we'll save the big palette for last. Sorry to anybody that just wants to see the big palette and that's it. But, you know, for those of you on budgets and stuff, you know, since Pat McGrath does the sales and stuff on these things fairly often, I think these will be fun for those people that are, you know, more budget related and can't really afford the big palettes, so like me. But we're going to go ahead and get started. And, you know, I left these in their main packages because that's part of the Pat McGrath experience, I suppose. The packaging, they often have this kind of like her little staple thing is, you know, these little twisty bits and them folding open. They're really nice. It's not super thin, but, you know, it's not like super thick box stuff. It's oh, that just fall right out of there. Be careful. Anyway, so that's the inside of it. And when you get like a Pat McGrath package, it's like the little confetti stuff inside the package is really, I don't know, it's interesting. It's kind of like tape reel, you know, like VHS tape reel, all snipped up and everything. And then they've got stuff like it like this in a package. You know, you've got them in a like a kind of like a sealed Ziploc-y type package, and it's got a bunch of gold sequins in it and stuff. So it's a lot of decoration that you're gonna throw away. So it is a little bit wasteful. I keep that stuff, like, because, you know, for any to repackage pretty much, you know, to ship off any of my like charms or artwork or anything like that. I keep the tissue paper. I keep the, yeah, I keep what I can instead of throwing it away. And you know, to repackage or reuse it or whatever. And the sequins, you know, I'm like, oh, well, you know, I'm gonna just keep those in a baggie. And, you know, you never know with crafting that I do and stuff, if I'm gonna use them, or, you know, modifying clothes, if I'm gonna use them or anything like that. So, but yeah, these packages are really cool. So it's kind of something that you kind of like want to keep it in. So at least there's that, because otherwise it'd be a little bit wasteful, not gonna lie. But anyway, this is what these lip balms come in. They look like lipsticks when you know, open them up. These little lips right here, very pretty. It's nice, sturdy, thick plastic, and so it's, yeah, very pretty. And then you twist it up, and yeah. Okay, let me turn this light down a little bit better, because it's going to be really hard to see some of this stuff otherwise. So we've got, try and get this to focus a little bit. There we go. See how sparkly that is? That actually is, gotta wait for it to refocus on me. I don't know if it's gonna. Come on. Anyway, we're gonna hope that the camera refocuses. Like, it's like, no, you wanted me to pay attention to that. That's what we're gonna do now. Okay, here it goes. It's coming back a little bit. It'll get there in a minute. But yeah, it actually is very, very sparkly. I'm probably just gonna, like, actually, I don't know. I don't want to shove my hand or my face in the camera, so I'm gonna try and get some on my hand a little bit. Maybe like my wrist right here. Oh yeah, that'll hopefully pick up if I can get it close enough to the camera. We're going to do a good bit of layering, just because this is meant to, you know, it's a balm. So it's not meant to be a like super colorful lipstick. And this is extremely sparkly in person. So if you guys don't catch the, you know, the glitter on camera, I am so sorry. Like, it is extremely hard to catch, you know, really light shade things and whatnot like that. We're going to try and get the camera to focus on it a little bit. Come on. There we go. So, yeah, you guys are pretty much seeing, like, glossy bits, is what it is. But you can see it's definitely like a balm. It's not meant to add really any color. You guys can't really see the glitter like the sparkle coming off of there, but it's extremely sparkly, and it's like a gold, because it's the gold astral, so it's a gold sparkle. I do see like it kind of looks like there's purple in there a little bit too. I'm gonna wipe that off though. I don't like greasy stuff being on my skin. But it is absolutely beautiful. I have put it on my lips before. It's gorgeous, and I don't know for price point. I'm not sure if I would say it's worth like the $19 sale price, let alone like its non-sale price. My nose is itchy. But it's very pretty. I really wanted to try out the blue one. They've got like a bluish shade astral one, and that one actually I think does do like a kind of a great tint to your lips. I would love to see these. I don't think they actually have the glittery ones. They've got regular balms that are kind of shaded like tint or whatever, but I would love to see a sparkly version of these that are actually tinted, like a pretty decently tinted gold or the blue or anything like that. That would be pretty cool, and I would think that would probably be worth more than like $19+. But as a balm itself, I don't know. I think I personally, it's great quality. It's just, it's a balm, you know? It's very pretty and sparkly, but it's a balm, and it doesn't really add anything but some sparkle, and you kind of got to get up a little bit. You can't see it across the room type sparkle, because it's very super fine, because you can't feel, it's very smooth. You can't feel the spark, like the glitter in it. So, you know, you can't really feel the glitter in it. So that kind of tells you that's an extremely fine, you know, glitter, sparkle, whatever. And, you know, so it's not something you're going to see from across the room or anything, you know. You kind of have to get up within a couple of feet of somebody to really see that good. But, you know, it's very pretty. It sparkles well, you know, in person anyway. Obviously, you couldn't see it on camera very well. But it adds no shade to your lips. It doesn't really, you know, it's not a blam glitter, you know, you can see it across the room type thing. When the light hits you, you know, you can't do that. So for me, I feel like it's something that would be more, you know, $15, because even $15 for one lip balm is a good price, you know, like that's pretty pricey for one lip balm for 15 bucks. But, you know, since it is really good quality and does that little bit of glitter and stuff, you know, I think $15 would be a good price point for that. But on sale, it's like 19, let alone, you know, when it's not on sale. So I don't know, like, but I love it. It's very pretty. So I'm glad I got it on sale and just kind of like tried it. I think, you know, it's just for one or whatever. I wouldn't buy more than one for that price, but, you know. Anyway, we're going to go into the single shade. The reason I bought this shade, it's listed as Crimson Fire. It's the Idols eyeshadow. And I've been searching, for those of you that know me, I've been searching for a crimson or a candy apple red, like, super shimmer, not a glitter color, but a super shimmer or a foil that is just really good. And I have a hard time finding one. I assume, you know, like, I know reds are very hard to make, so, you know, but I mean, I've seen a couple of higher end palettes that, like, I want to try. I believe it's Mothership 5 has a red in there that looks like it would be the color I want, but because of this, I'm a little iffy on that. And I know that I'm never going to be able to afford that palette unless they have like some sort of massive sale where they take half off and I can use Afterpay to make payments, which at that point, maybe I would do that. Maybe that's still a lot of money doing half of it. I think it's still like maybe like not quite 75, but pretty close. You know, that's still a lot of money for a palette, but these are, you know, like, this is high quality stuff. So I probably, like, if that red was actually the red that I want, I think I would go for it. But anyway, I thought that this might be it because, you know, it says crimson, and the shade, the swatch on the, you know, the whole shade that they show on there on the site, the swatch and everything, it shows it as an actual crimson. It looks amazing. I was like, oh my God, this is it, you know, and it's, you know, in a single. I don't have to pay for a full palette to get the shade that I've been looking for and dreaming of, you know. And then I got it and I look at it and so so the light's not affecting. But as you can see, this is not a crimson shade. I looked at it, I'm like, oh my God, this is going to disappoint me. And when it comes to color anyways. But yeah, it did. It is not a crimson shade. It does not look anything like what it does online. That's kind of like a major no-no for me. It's just they really need to like take the flash off of that photo, you know, like take the photo with no freaking flash or something, you know, or not like majorly lighting. Whatever they did to make it look crimson in that photo, they need to not do it, because it is not like that in person. So this, this was a big giant flop for me, mostly because of the hype that I felt for. I mean, you know, the quality is great. We're going to show you guys here in a minute, but the quality is amazing. But like, I get hyped up about seeing actual like crimson looking or candy apple looking foils and stuff, and then like I am massively let down when that's not what they are, and that's happened multiple times, obviously, like when I'm still trying to look for that right shade. So, you know, clearly that's happened multiple times. And it's just, it makes it to where you're just like, wow, now I really don't like this, even though it's really good quality and I would like it otherwise. If I knew that it was that color, you know, and bought it for that color, I'd love it. But that's not what I bought it for, and it just makes you just hate it, kind of like when you, I mean, I don't absolutely hate it, but I'm like, I'm mad about it, you know, like, so I'm kind of like, I hate you, but you're really good quality, you know, like, but, you know, so it's just like, it makes you really mad about it, you know, because you're expecting one color that you really love and you've been looking for forever, and it's not it, you know, that's not anywhere near that shade. And it's kind of like what happened with, you know, we're going to mention it just really fast, is Juvia's Place with their metallic liquid lip set, you know, the tattoo or whatever, and you know, one was supposed to be matte and one was supposed to be metallic. One, not the same shade on both of those like they're supposed to be, and two, one is not metallic. It is very not metallic. And it is very false advertising, you know, like, it's just, I hate that. Like, I want what I see online. And yes, there is always a difference in the screens, you know, but I have looked at it on multiple different devices, and it always looks at least extremely close to a crimson color. And this is nowhere near, you know, a crimson color. This is very dark, you know, like, it's just not it. So we're going to swatch this real quick, but that was my big problem with this. But again, we're going to swatch it for you guys because it is very nice quality. So, if you like the darker reds and stuff, I'd say this has like a slight orange, so it kind of looks more of a reddish copper color. If you like those kind of shades, and I definitely recommend this single. See, look at, very beautiful. Like, it's a gorgeous shade, and it's a nice, you know, foil. So it's a nice little metallic kind of copper tone. That's actually, the camera's actually picking up the color pretty well if I keep, you know, this light on the back of my arm. So we might have a really good swatching session this video, now that I've, you know, taken one light out of the picture of those three and everything. I think one of these days I'll also get my webcam like really fixed up with its coloring and everything. It's this Razer like webcam was like $60. I made payments on it to get it, and it's just like, I was wanting this, like, this is gonna have my quality better than my you know, old phone. Like, my phone, I use hand-me-down phones. So you know, so like, mine is not good quality, like picture wise, and, you know, like everything. So I was like, oh yeah, you know, at least give me some quality for my videos and everything like that. And it's like, so I mean, it's good quality video, it has a hard time just staying on focus. Like, yeah, but I think there's you the program that they have. I think you can control it a little better in there, but that's not user friendly for like tech stupid people like me. I hate electronics and I'm horrible with them. But like for $60, this thing is such a pain in the ass. You know, it's so irritating. So I only recommend it to people that are very like tech savvy. You know, then you might have a really amazing time with this thing. But like for me, I'm just like, oh, I really wish like I'm gonna eventually like invest in a really nice, you know, Canon that can hook up to like an Elgato or whatever and live stream. So, so yeah. Anyway, the single, amazing quality. It's a beautiful shade. It's just really not the shade that it shows online at all whatsoever. So be aware of that. I would look at videos like this where they're swatching these singles or something like that to see what it actually is. I do a couple of them so that, you know, depending on the person's camera, you might be able to, you know, um, see what the actual shade is on these singles based on, you know, as compared to the online swatches or photos. So I definitely be aware of that because of this one, I would be wary of the other singles. They might be better, you know, photographed properly and stuff, but because reds do, again, like companies seem to have this thing where they make a dark, gross looking as compared to, you know, what I want anyways. It's not gross looking, but like I don't want this shade, you know, like they make a dark shade and then they like take photos or something of it and it makes it look the actual shade it's supposed to be and it's not, you know. So like that is seems to be a very common thing with reds. It doesn't happen as much with other shades as it does with reds, so maybe you don't have to be as wary of the other singles as, you know, this one or any that might also have like a red tint to it. But other than that horrible whatever, you know, about it, it is a really good quality. It's still a very beautiful shade. I would use it for like a fall look or whatever, so which is coming up soon, so yay, I might actually, you know, use that. Anyway, which honestly we're getting into this this little mini palette right here next. That shade is actually, I think, pretty close to, yeah, this shade right here. So, like, it's pretty damn close to this shade. Like, oh, yeah. Like, now I just have a big version of it. Like, eh. So, anyway. So, yeah. Anyway, this is the Ecstasy Subversive. They've got, I think, two different versions of this. I got this one because I wanted all the different little gem shades. You know, like it's pretty. I again was that this shows up in the pictures. This red shade shows up in the pictures a little lighter than it actually is. Really big bummer. I was like, hell yeah, I might have a red that I like in here again. You know, like, but at least this has other colors that are absolutely gorgeous and, you know, fit the pictures pretty well. So at least there's that. Except for this like blue. Blues kind of tend to picture what differently too. Like this one doesn't look as like blue. It looks like it has a slight, very slight green tint to it in person. But like in the photos, I believe it's more of a blue. But anyway, this beautiful colors. We're going to swatch these. We've got Lapis Luxury, Gold Standard, Crimson Fire. Okay, it is the exact same shade. I should have remembered you know, like the name of this shade on the back here. I don't remember stuff. I should have did that because then I would have known better than to get this because this is the Crimson Fire shade. So I guess their singles must be from these. So this will be a good for any of you interested in those singles when they go on sale, like because you just want one really nice pretty color. I guess this will be a good one if any of these colors are the singles you're looking at. So now you'll be able to actually see what those look like. So we've got the Lapis Luxury Gold Standard, Crimson Fire, Blue Blood, and then Synthetica. So the Synthetica is like a purple. So very pretty. So we're going to start with the lapis and then the gold, and then, you know, we'll still swatch the Crimson Fire just so you guys can, you know, see it anyways, because sometimes some companies are different quality with different things that they produce. Though I'll tell you, it's the same quality. It's really amazing. So, alrighty. So we got this lapis shade. Absolutely beautiful. It does show up a nice blue. It does match the pan in person. So, and if you get, you know, into a darker area, it shows up of a more darker blue because, you know, the foil is not catching the light and everything. But otherwise, it does have that slight greenish tint to it. These look, a little bit sparkly, I believe. That might just be the the lip balm still up there. So I don't think it's supposed to be sparkly. I don't know, but it's a foil. So we got that blue right there. Let me get this out of the way so that it's not affecting the other shade. So we get this gold. Absolutely beautiful gold. And they only take one swatch. So these things show up real good. So they're small pans, but they're absolutely amazing quality. There's not really any fallout from what I'm experiencing so far with these. This red one looks like it might, but you just kind of like buff it out, you know, blow it off, buff it out when you know, apply it. So there's the crimson one. Yeah, see, there would be a little bit of fallout, but all you have to do is like buff it out just a little. You'll be fine. Very beautiful shade. I like this. We're gonna leave these shades on my arm. I'm not gonna wipe them off so that you guys can see them all together. At the end of it, I'm just gonna wipe them off my fingers so I can swatch properly. Get these last two shades. Alrighty. Ooh, this one's a little rough. The blue blood one is a little bit rough feeling. Same, it's a little scratchy on this the purple one as well. So the Synthetica. All right, get this blue blood. So it's got like a, okay, so you might have a little bit of fallout issue with this one if you don't, you know, buff that out carefully. This one's like a brown with like, it seems like a purplish red tint to it. So I guess it is kind of like a blood color. And then you've got the Synthetica one. It's a purple. And yeah, that does have glitter in it. So very pretty color. It's like a nice light purple shade. So it's not a dark purple. It's kind of like a dark lavender, I suppose. So these are the 5 shades for this the subversive version of this too. I haven't gotten my hands on the other one, so I don't know if I ever will because the colors didn't really call to me. So, but who knows, maybe if they have like a big giant sale and they're like, you know, $10 palettes or something, maybe. I mean, they're pretty close when they do have their sales, but maybe they'll have a Black Friday sale where it's like super, you know, cheap. So those colors. All right, so review, like just my rough, you know, like thoughts on this, you know, that I haven't haven't already expressed. So obviously, you know, amazing quality, absolutely amazing quality. I adore these shades. We're not gonna do them on my lids and stuff, but they do show up. I have used the red, I believe, and the blue blood shades before for a small look, and they do show up really well. It doesn't really matter if you use primer or not with these. It's just amazing quality regardless. So that's great. The price point for these, especially on sale, absolutely worth it, honestly. Like, I know that's 14 bucks, and usually a lot of big palettes for other companies are $14, like BH Cosmetics or something. You can get a full palette, you know, with pans, normal pan sizes and stuff for 14, but it's not the quality that this is. This is absolutely amazing quality. There's not a whole bunch of fallout. There's a little bit on a couple of the colors, but like this gold and the blue, there's really not any fallout on that, from what I experienced. And like the fallout from any of these is just like, if you take care with your, you know, like tap your brush and all that stuff, and you kind of like make sure you buff it out and everything, it's pretty. I'd use with these foils a solid, like a more solid stiff brush, for like eye brush or whatever, than a soft one, because then you're going to get more fallout with the soft one, because, you know, foils are kind of more meant for a solid application type thing. But it's really good quality. It's, you know, you, especially you catch it on sale, it's a pretty decent price point for the quality. It is a very small palette, but you know, I think for like special occasions or anything like that, or if you absolutely adore all these colors and you're just going to use the hell out of it, you know, like it's still like really worth it. Like you'd use it for some really nice looks and stuff. Yeah, the downfall, again, like the downfall of these is just like when you're looking at it online, it's not the same color. For some of these colors, like I believe the blue from what I saw, but definitely these two shades right here, because they've got some red in it, they photograph differently and stuff like that, so they don't look so dark online. They are, though. They are darker than they look online. Like that Crimson Fire is not a Crimson Fire. So that makes me mad. Shame on you, Pat Mcgrath, for tricking me into thinking that I was gonna, one, get a palette that has, you know, the color I've been dying for, or two, because I didn't remember that exact shade is in this palette. I'm a single, thinking that I'm gonna get the shade that I've been dying for. Shame on you, getting my hopes up and dashing them. So that is like the major downfall with these. So as long as you know about those colors and you're like, yeah, I still love those shades, I see really no downside to this little palette or that single, you know, as long as you know and you absolutely love them, because especially on sale, you know, because I think the single on sale is like 12 bucks or something like that. So that's pretty good. I think not on sale, it might be 20. I'm not sure. I can't remember. I don't usually tend to look at the singles. The only reason I did is because of that one specific shade, you know. But this on sale for sure. Like, I think this might be 22 when it's not on sale. But like, it's 14 on sale. It's absolutely worth it. There's not really any downside other than that the shades not matching completely. All of the shades not matching to the online photos. But again, if you know better, you still like the shades. You know, you've seen them here. They, you know, from when I was looking at the camera and looking at my wrist, it was matching pretty good on camera to what it is in real life for here. So you can kind of go off of that. If you like those shades, 14 bucks, pretty freaking worth it. So as long as you're not being kind of tricked like I was a little bit with those photos. So there's not much really of a downside quality wise or anything like that. It's just absolutely amazing quality. So it was just, I can see why it's so expensive. I'm gonna grab a drink real quick before we get into this big palette. Yeah. I got this. This was one of the things from the that came with this palette and a whole bunch of other stuff. Like, was one of the things that came in here. I'm really enjoying it. All right, so as with the Pat Mcgrath stuff, we've got those little ties up here. So you just kind of like do that, and then like the lip balm, it opens up, and you've got the actual palette inside. Now this is, you know, you can either keep this or not. It's got the shades down here at the bottom, so we're gonna grab these. But I like to keep them in these kind of packages because, I mean, it's a beautiful package, so why not? First of all, and like, I don't want to like, if I really like it and it's pretty, why add to waste? You know, like the external pack, like the secondary packaging that I don't keep is usually ones that look just like the palette, which at that point I'm like, why do you even waste one, money, and two, like resources, and like add to the trash when that secondary packaging looks just like the primary packaging? Like, why do that? uh, I don't see the point in that. That's just a waste, and then the customer is going to pay for that, obviously, and then the earth's going to pay for that. I'm not usually too I guess tree hugger type sounding, whatever, but I do think, like that doesn't make any sense to me. That's a lot of waste for nothing, and money. So anyway, this packaging is very, very sturdy. Like, it is super sturdy. And like the back, I don't know if that's a plastic or an actual metal. It feels really cold as compared to the rest of the package. This is a nice thick plastic, but this actually feels metal. Like, I don't know. But it's actually like this info right here. This down here is a sticker, but like this info right here is actually like engraved into it. So I think it is a metal. It's engraved into it, but it says Mcgrath Labs mothership used without caution, shade throwing, and eye ecstasy may result with prolonged use. And then it's got the MMXB11, so it's got the mothership 7. So, and then you've got these engraved on the bottom, which is their Pat McGrath stuff, which is also kind of plopped in there on the top too. So this is like really amazing quality package. You're definitely paying for that, as well as the good quality shadows. It is magnetized, so I don't take the plastic off of mirrors on palettes if I can help it, because I don't use the mirrors. But this is a really beautiful mirror. It's in like indented down on the sides or whatever, and it pops up just slightly in the middle, so it makes it really pretty, kind of like a gem look, so, and then we've got, this is what the colors look like. We're gonna try and keep this stupid light over here out of the way so that you guys get proper shade, like color look. So we've got a lot of we've got a lot of neutral shades going on in here, so, which usually isn't my thing, but these are absolutely amazing. So like, we're gonna go through these. We've got Skin Show Nude. We're gonna start with the top and we'll read these off. Veloura, Sable Bronze, Refined Gold 002, Iridescent Pink 003, Extreme Mahogany, Lovelace, Rose Dusk, VR Rose Venus, and Astral Solstice. It's only got, this palette only has 2 mattes. The rest are like either a foil, shimmer. We'll get to the surprise later. There's one shade in here that is not, what it seems pressed into it until you actually dig into the shade, which is a very delightful surprise for me. So that's all those shades, and we are going to go ahead and swatch these. So we'll start with, the Skin Show Nude. And then we've got a matte, which is the Veloura, and then back into another foil, which is the Sable Bronze. So I'm not sure if you guys will be able to see the Skin Show Nude very well on me because it's very light. Oh, these are super, not buttery, but they're, I mean, the foils are very buttery, but the mattes are very silky feeling, so they're beautiful. So we got this Skin Show Nude. There we go. Get this tilted for you guys so you can see that a little better. Alright, and we got Veloura, which is a matte. Get a little bit of fallout there if you don't buff that out. Very pretty. The matte shows up absolutely amazing. Just one swatch. And then we get this. Yeah, you're going to get a little bit of fallout with that Skin Show Nude. And we get the sable bronze. Yeah, these foils might get a little bit of fallout if you're not too careful. That actually had quite a bit of fallout. We're gonna put this back in there. Don't want to waste it and fall down on the packaging. Okay, so that's those 3 shades. We'll do a couple more shades, the top ones, and then we'll wipe all of them off. But get my fingers wiped off though. Now we're gonna get to 2 of the shades that I really like, which is the refined gold and the iridescent pink. I don't think it's really a pink personally. It's very beautiful though. I don't know why they named it iridescent pink. Okay, so we can get this gold. Oh, this gold, it looked a little, it does feel a little different from the other foils. And I can see why. It actually it feels a lot lighter. And this one doesn't seem actually, this one's not, the pink, the iridescent pink is not actually a foil. This is more of like a topper shade and stuff. This gold is very light. It feels very light as compared to the other foil shades, and it's got I think it's probably more of a shimmer than a foil, honestly, because it's got some glitter and stuff in there. But it is a beautiful color. So this is the gold shade. You see a lot of the glittery, stuff going on. It's got like a foil base though, so I still kind of call it a foil anyways. So it's a very soft gold. So this might actually, that's probably why it's light. It might actually be a topper as well. And then this one might be really hard for you guys to see. This is more of like an opal color, and it's definitely like a topper type shade, as you can see. It shifts shade, so that's probably why they do have that named the pink, like the iridescent pink, because it does shift into a pink, but it shows up really white for the most part. And it's got like a couple different shifts, but there is that pink in there that you can see pretty good. So I guess I could see the iridescent pink type thing. But in the pan, it looks really white, as you guys saw earlier. So that's the top shades. So it's got a really nice range already going on different types of shadow shades for you guys. I am not going to be able to pick like which ones I use later for a look, you guys. That's going to be really hard. So if you see one of these shades that you really want to see used on my eyes, just comment it so that I know to try and incorporate that one in, because I personally am going to have a hard time choosing. So I know I'm going to use this last one that's in here, but like there's a good few different shades that are really cool in here that aren't just normal foils and stuff. Okay, so we're going to hit this bottom row now. The first one is the Extreme Mahogany, and that's the other matte that's in here. And they've got Lovelace and then Rose Dusk, which are both foils. Lovelace and then Rose Dusk. And these pans are pretty decent size too. So okay. This mahogany one, wonderful matte. Like, it is very solid matte. That looks like it'll buff out really easily too. So I might try and incorporate a matte in there as well. I'm mainly gonna have a hard time picking like which foil and other stuff to use. This is the Lovelace. And then we've got this Rose Dusk. And it's not as solid of a foil as, a couple of the others, so. Very pretty colors. Very neutral colors. Those of you that know me, I'm not usually a user of neutral colors, but these are, absolutely gorgeous. I don't mind stepping out of my normal box occasionally, so especially for like challenges and things like that, it's kind of fun. All right, now we're going to get to these last two colors, which On both rows, the last two colors are a bit different from the rest. They're not like the typical oil or anything like that. This first one is the VR Rose Venus. It is also very lightweight, like that gold. So it's probably meant to be kind of like a topper, and it shifts. It's very pretty. It's kind of like a yellow and red kind of shift. So we're gonna do that. You guys can, yeah, you guys can kind of see, depending on when the light hits it, you get that reddish orange shift, and then you kind of got a little bit of dark look to it wherever the shadows are hitting it. Very pretty color. Now we're gonna get to the surprise shade. This one looks like a normal foil when it's pressed down into the pan until you dig it up. For you guys, it probably looked like the normal foil because, you know, the lighting and stuff. But if you actually looked at it in person, you'd be able to tell that's not a foil. Like, as soon as I dug my fingers into it, I'm like, holy crap, this is awesome. This is actually like a full-on, like, super pressed glitter. Like, and it's not like a fine, tiny glitter thing. It's not gritty. And it's not giant, you know, flake, like giant hexagon flake glitters or anything like that. This is actual like flakes, like glitter flakes, like flecks, you know, like it's awesome. Like, it is very fine, like nice glitter flecks, and oh my god, which will stick to you better. And it's just, yeah, you know, those tiny gold foil flecks for like they're bigger than these little glitter flecks, but like the gold foil flecks that you use for like crafting stuff to like dust onto things and all that. It's kind of like that. They're like flecks like that, except for smaller. So then when you apply it to your skin, you don't see the flecks anymore. They kind of like meld into like each other and stuff to create that beautiful, like, just it's a gorgeous glitter. Like, it's very fine and soft, but very sparkly. So I was super surprised when I did that. Like, when I dug into that, let alone, you know, applied it to my skin. Absolutely amazing. Like, that was like the best surprise ever. I was like, holy crap, that's awesome. So, so yeah, I definitely want to try and use that on my eye and see how that goes, because we're gonna see how they, you know, how it applies and sticks without. I can see that you probably don't even need like a glitter glue to apply that at all, because of how that is, and it shouldn't really fall out a whole bunch. It will a little bit, because, you know, all glitters kind of really do that. There's not much, like, you can use a glitter glue all you want, and you're still going to have a little bit of glitter falling off and getting all over the place, but, you know, that's okay. I'm going to need to get brushes, because I'll grab my brushes over here real quick, because I actually did not grab those and prep them before this, because I was sleepy boy today, and I've been having insomnia issues, so I didn't get to sleep until like later in the day, and I'm like, let's see. Nope, we're gonna look into my Sigma brushes, see what I got left. Plenty of those. You don't need these sweepers. Go ahead and grab this one. I'm going to get this a little more solid one for these foil, because I would like to do a foil. It'd be nice. Get a diffuse crease brush. I think that might be it. This tight liner and water liner pretty much just look the same, except for one's longer. Let's see. Get this. Is this a buff? That's a blender. Okay, that should be fine. Hopefully. Alrighty. Whew, I don't know which ones I want to do. We're probably going to do this lighter matte shade. to start out with, and we'll go from there and see what I want to do. We might do that matte shade and then kind of like, we might actually try and use like 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 of these. So, let's see, we got, let's use that for like an inner corner type thing. So we're gonna place this matte shade first. You don't really need to dig into this, these pans to really pick anything up. From what I'm seeing right here, you barely have to, so. So we're gonna go in on the non-prime side first, as usual. Get my mirror right here. You guys get to see the dirty side of it with all my fingerprints. Okay, so this is, wow, this is really soft as compared to, oh my gosh, that is so pretty. Like, it is such a very soft shade of brown when you actually put it on your eye without any primer, at least. Holy crap. I'm gonna go up just a little bit because, you know, we've got my hooded eyes and then we've got, you know, the deep set thing. So we're gonna kind of go up onto my brow bone area. So we gotta go up a little higher. And these just, they feel amazing. Like, it doesn't feel like I have anything on my eye. And this is a very soft shade as compared to the swatch. It shows up a little bit better with the primer, obviously. It's not like, it's a little more solid, but honestly, I'm not mad about it not being solid on the other side, honestly. Like, you want to do you a nice, soft, natural look for the day or something, don't use primer with this palette, apparently, you know, at least for the, matte shade anyway. Or the 2 matte shades. Okay, so we're gonna see if you guys, I don't know if you guys will be able to tell, but yeah, so you can see it. You guys can barely notice it. And then on this side, you can clearly tell there's something there. So we've got the primer side and the no primer. Okay. Eyeballs. Okay. Alrighty. So I want to do at least one foil. We're gonna do this middle bottom shade. Let's see, what is this one? Let me look real quick. Rose Dusk. I'm gonna get this little shade name thingy out. So we're gonna go into this Rose Dusk for this. I'm gonna probably put it off to the side right here. So the foil works just fine without the primer. Might actually use the foil down at the bottom. Just on the edge here, and then I'll probably take it down at the bottom. Since I'm not using any eyeliner, we're gonna use this as a nice little got that like Justin Timberlake song, that Cry Me a River song stuck in my head. It was on the radio earlier when I was kind of like trying to wake up from my sleepiness. Okay, now we're going to, on the side, that's what that looks like for this side. It's got just a slight sheen to it. We'll see what it looks like with the primer. And again, like with foils, if you use like a oily primer, if you're going to do like a super foiled look and not use mattes and stuff, I definitely recommend doing an oily-ish type primer with foils, because it'll help bring out that shine. So like the Concrete Minerals primer, if you don't know where to find like an oily primer that's pretty decent, Concrete Minerals has one. You just kind of like slick that on with your fingers or whatever over your eyelid. So that works pretty good, because normal primer, like what it's doing here, actually kind of mutes foils a little bit from what I've experienced. So like this foil is being muted a little as compared to, see, you got more solid, a little more muted and soft. But that seems to be what happens when you use foils on a normal primer, lid or whatever. It's just not, to me, not as pretty as it could be, like not as shiny and everything, which is what the foil is for. I mean, if you don't like the bam shine, you'll love this anyway, but it kind of like mattes it a little bit. And I don't feel like, if I want a matte look, I would use a matte, like for me. So these foils are still, will still fall prey to the the regular primer issue. Again, though, it also helps if you have a really solid brush, and I'm not using one right now, so mine are needing washed, so like my more solid brushes anyway. Because with this, even though it's on primer, it's a little bit more shiny than up here, because it's a nice solid brush to pick up all that. And I haven't really had any fallout from these, so that's kind of nice. So we've got the difference between the two. Like, there we go. There's not a huge difference with the foils, other than it's just slightly muted from the shininess on this side. It's still a nice solid color. It's just when it comes to the shine itself, it's muted a little bit. So you can still, you can see, it's a still nice solid color. It's just that shine when the light hits it is not as good on the regular primed side. So, alrighty. So let's see. What else do I want to do? I would love to use this weird, this red shifty color, this Rose Venus down here. We're gonna see how that, ooh, that looks really pretty on a brush. Like, that's super pretty. It looks just like, the brush is just like, it seems like it's just picking up glitter, almost. Like, we're, well, I want to start with this side here. Oh, it's so pretty. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh yeah, these are definitely, those two colors are definitely toppers. That rose and this Rose Venus, like the gold and the Rose Venus. They're definitely topper colors. They're so beautiful. So we've got the 6 main colors that are actually solid colors on this side of the palette, and then you've got the 4 last colors on each row. That we've got the 2 toppers, and then there's 2 kind of like it's kind of like a highlight topper and then a glitter. So they're definitely made for, going over other shades and everything. I mean, you could use them on your own, like on its own. Like, watch, we'll do one other coat on this. Yes. Oh my god. So kind of like blend that into the foil. Oh my gosh. This is a nice transition shade from the uh, matte to the foil, honestly. Just kind of like blend that a little bit. Oh, that's so pretty. We're gonna, yeah. All right, we're gonna put it on the prime side and see how that goes.
Okay. So it seems to do the same thing with regular primer. It really mutes that sparkle. I'm kind of sad about it. I think from now on, when I do a, well, I don't, part of me is like, oh, from now on, when I do a palette, like when I do any review or whatever look part for the palette that has a lot of foils, I'll just use my Concrete Minerals primer. This is with 2 coats. Like, that's not showing up anywhere near as much as the other side without primer. I'm a little disappointed. So this does not react well with normal primer. So I'm kind of bummed about it. But like, let me try and get up in here for the camera to focus. See, like, that's super muted, and you can actually see some shine over here. Ta-da. Ta-da, super muted, even with, you know, letting the light come through. Really bummer. Like, so like, if you really want that shiny, you know, whatever of these foils and the toppers, if you really want that shine, I'd either go with no primer or go with a nice slick greasy primer, you know, like an oily greasy primer. And we'll almost see. Ugh, I don't. We're gonna use. We'll use the iridescent pink as, you know, on the eye look too, to show you guys with and without the primer. But I'm going to put a little bit of this Concrete Minerals primer right here, and we're going to use it there as well and see how it goes with primer. So we got like a full look going anyways. There. Use that lip thing too. Alright, so we're going to put a little bit of this foil first over here. Okay, so this foil is not really this Skin Show Nude. It just really doesn't want to pick up on this brush. Maybe the second coat is a little better. So it's a very soft foil. And this brush isn't like super solid either. So again, like with foils, you probably want more of like a solid brush. But this one works better with the primer. This foil right here, this Skin Show Nude. So this is very different. Like this one reacts differently. So you've got like a much more muted on this side, but this side is just actually very shiny. Okay. Then we're going to go over it with this iridescent pink, which will also, you know, see how that works. Very pretty on the brush. I'm going to go right over that. Very pretty. It's very soft, little topper. And we'll try it on this side. Okay, so this one shows up pretty decent with a regular primer as well. And then we're going to try and... It's super pretty, like... Okay, so this iridescent pink actually shows up good with a normal primer. But it is a really pretty highlight too. So you could use it for just a slight highlight. Very pretty because it's a nice little that pink and white shift or whatever. Ooh, very pretty. Very pretty. Let's see how I like it. The light kind of hits it, you can see. Just barely. But okay, so we've got those little inner corner shades. It's a little muted on the side without primer, but with primer it's pretty decent. So it actually works pretty well with the primer. And now we're going to top it with this little glitter. I want to see how well this picks up. Ooh, it picks up beautifully on a brush. We're just gonna pop on just a little bit of glitter in the middle. Oh, that's so beautiful. You're gonna get a little bit of glittery fallout though, so you're definitely gonna wanna, I could see this falling, like the glitter falling off throughout the night if you don't set it well on your eyes. Like to make sure when you set it, and that is the side without primer. You get a lot less fallout when you use this primer. With these, like this little glitter shade. I want to just like pat that on there. Very pretty. Not less fallout. It still shines no matter what though, whichever's, with or without primer. It's just you get a little less, just slightly less falling out on you glitter wise. But honestly, I don't really care because it always falls out right around here. Usually for me, because my deep set eyes, so when I put stuff on it, it falls out more on this section. For anybody that doesn't have deep set eyes, though, it's probably going to fall out more around here anyway. So, but for me, it just kind of makes it add to like my highlight area. But it's very beautiful glitter. It's a lot more visible in person than on camera. Let me see if I can, if playing with some light or whatever will maybe a little more visible. Yeah, a little bit. If I get some light from this side. But I definitely set that real good for your eyes. Like, make sure you get that setting spray good on your eye lids, because otherwise I could see that glitter is so fine and soft that it'll fall out throughout, fall off throughout the night otherwise. So there be my look with that. All in all, I am not seeing a massive difference between, once the look is finished and stuff. I don't think I ever, like, I'm going to buff this out a little. I want to soften that up on the edges. Oh, that's pretty. These are going to, if you need to blend or anything, or like buff these out, it doesn't take very much to get them to work with you. Like, they're very nice quality. You don't have to take forever, like on, to get them to do what you want. It just takes a good few swipes and that's it. Like that just like faded out so pretty. So that like made it an extra soft look. Oh, that's so pretty. I like that. I don't usually like soft, like super soft edges and stuff, but that is so pretty. Like just softened that up. Like I love that. That's beautiful. So I'm gonna put these brushes up. All in all, I think I absolutely love this palette. I'm gonna put some of this lip thing on just to kind of complete Pat McGrath look, because I'm used to, like, if I'm just using, whatever on these reviews, I'm just using shadows pretty much because I don't have like a lip from the same thing. So also this lip balm, oh, it smells so good. It smells very sweet. You guys can see like it's very shiny and glittery. So it's definitely like, if you want one lip balm and you're kind of like really strapped for cash like I am, you catch them on sale and you just really want to splurge, I think it's worth getting one. But because of the fact that they are still $19 on sale, I personally, again, like would only get one just to splurge on. Just get your like a favorite type color, And this is a gold, so. But they smell absolutely amazing. Oh, it smells so good. Alrighty. But you guys can see, like, it's very glittery. See? Very pretty. So, all in all, I think this palette is absolutely amazing. Like, the quality is great. You will get a little bit of fallout with this little glitter color and the mattes, which honestly, like, fallout with mattes is kind of like a super common thing anymore. But, like, I never expect a matte to, like, not have fallout ever, you know? That's just kind of seems to be a thing. You're just going to get fallout with mattes. It's not so bad, though, as compared to other brands that I've tried. But that being said, you know, the mattes probably are my least favorite out of this, but luckily there's only two. And it's, you know, they're like really neutral colors. But from what I tried out, though, that matte, that nude color it's beautiful shade for me anyways, personally, because it blends in with my skin tone fairly well. And the foils, they swatch a lot more foiled looking than you're gonna probably, if you really want it that foiled looking, like the swatches that I did earlier, you're probably gonna want like a very solid brush to apply them with, or your finger, and you know, do it that way, because otherwise it's gonna be a little more muted, like, well, actually quite a bit more muted on the shine that you would normally get with foils and stuff. I definitely, if you're planning on using mostly just the foils for a look or something, I definitely go with a more oily, slick eye primer than a normal eye primer, because otherwise you're going to get a super muted foil look, almost matte. So I am unsure of, like, I can see why on this casing, to make it stand out for the eye look, why they used mostly that gold shade, because again, like, the foils themselves in this, the gold is kind of like a really nice bright ass topper. The foils in this are very muted when they actually get on your skin. I think, again, like I said, though, I think using a nice slick primer might really help that, and also sticking with a very, very solid brush, like something that you wouldn't normally use your eyeshadows on, you know, like with matte shadows and stuff, like a concealer brush, you know, how tightly packed those are and stiff the bristles are. I'd try something kind of sort of like that. I don't know if I'd go completely into a brush like that, but like I'd go something like that, you know, for trying to get them foils out. So all in all, I think the palette is absolutely amazing. Like, it's Pat McGrath. This is one of those items, like, Pat McGrath is like one of those things. It's like, oh well, you're just paying for the brand name and stuff. It's not really that much better quality than, you know, little smaller brands and whatever. Hi, Amanda. But that's not the case with this. Yeah, you probably are paying a little bit for the brand name, and you definitely are paying a bit for the packaging, because there's beautiful packaging. What's inside the palette, the primary packaging on the palette, is very sturdy and awesome. You know, like, you're paying for that packaging for sure, and a little bit for the name, but you are getting yay, I'm so glad. But you are getting a amazing quality palette. So you're definitely, you know, getting a bang for your buck. I personally cannot afford a $125 palette, so I'm really lucky that I won this. Again, like, the admins and mods in the group really spoil us. But like, if you can afford, you know, one of these or whatever, I definitely recommend getting one that, you know, looks like all the colors that you would like. Like, if I were to be able to afford one, I'd probably get Mothership 5 for me personally, if that red shade is actually what it is. But these shades are very pretty. This is, you know, definitely something for most normal people. I do a lot of out there looks, so neutral colors just really usually don't do it for me, but I am really digging. I could you know, get with this, you know, doing this on a normal, regular, everyday, go out to the store thing, and still, because with me, my makeup is more of a, do I feel like I want to do a more masculine look today, or a more effeminate look or something that's just neither and just out there. You know, I've got those three pretty much options of what I pick when I get ready to go out somewhere. Or do I just like, like if I do a more masculine look, it's either no makeup or very minimal, you know, like it looks very, very minimal. And it's just like, I could see this like being a nice in between. Like I don't usually have an in between those three. And I could see this palette like doing a beautiful in between, because I could still do a masculine look with this. And unless people like were actually paying attention to my face, like they're not really going to notice this very much. And when they do, it's, you know, it's very subtle and it's beautiful, but also at the same time, it's like the way I've done it, it's still, you know, highlights just more of the masculine areas that I would, you know, make sure I have for any of the more masculine makeup that I would do, you know, for a look or something. So I could get into wearing something like this, going out, a normal everyday type stuff. Even, you know, like this would be something, an eye look that I would wear like what I am now, where I've got no other makeup on my face but just the eye look, you know, like it's so subtle and beautiful that, you know, like this palette is amazing for like really subtle, beautiful looks. But as you know, like with some of those toppers, if you use them right and get a nice tightly packed foil, like a brush for your foil, and you know, a nice slick oily or greasy eye primer, you could get a really eye-popping look, kind of like this, you know, like this look that they have on the secondary packaging. And so it's just like it can do, clearly it can do really eye-popping out there looks, but also, you know, it can do extremely subtle, and I really like that. I'm not usually, like I said, I'm not usually into neutral colors like what a lot of this palette is, but because of the fact that a lot of those neutral colors are still foils, and it's got a couple of toppers that aren't neutral colors, and they're just there for a nice bam like accent. Um, Depending on, so with foils, depending on what you use for primer, you can get a really nice popping look or a nice subtle kind of matte-ish with a slight shine look, you know, depending on your primer. So I think this palette is really versatile. So it's versatile, it's amazing quality. Like I said, the mattes, like there's not much downfall to this palette as what I would normally, you know, be able to have like a pretty decent downfall for most palettes that I've reviewed so far. There's like, oh, there's one shade in there that is absolutely, ugh, you know. I'd say like my downside, and that's just a personal preference, is the mattes. I'm not, you know, there's a little bit of fallout with those. There's a, you know, what you get with pretty much any mattes. It's not anywhere near as bad as, you know, lower quality palettes, but it's just like, you know, I'm just not as into neutral mattes, you know. But like even with that, like even with the neutral mattes, like it's a beautiful shade. So like even like the downsides of this palette, I can't really say much. And that's me like trying really hard to come up with like a, you know, downside to this palette. I'm not making it up, but like, you know, like just saying like it's a very slight downside of the palette. You know, like that glitter, you're definitely gonna want to, you know, have a primer for the glitter shade that's at the end. And you're definitely going to want to set it. Otherwise, it is going to fall off, you know, after probably about an hour or so. So maybe that's probably a bigger downside to this palette than anything. And that's really not that bad as long as you take precaution for that. So honestly, there's not a lot of downside other than the price point. Like it's a very expensive palette, but it is, you are getting your money's worth. It's not just it's expensive because you're paying for Pat McGrath name and that's it. No, the packaging is amazing. You've got amazing secondary and primary packaging that's absolutely awesome quality. Like, I mean, this is coming up a little bit on this packaging, but it's beautiful. So, and it's, you know, most secondary packaging is not meant to be, you know, you're not, they're like, they're probably not going to keep it and they're just going to throw it away. So it's not usually made of absolutely sturdy ass, you know, material. So it's, you know, it's still made of that basic secondary packaging material. But it's still awesome to where, you know, if you're really careful and stuff, you can keep it in here and, you know, keep it all beautiful and everything. And then the primary packaging is super sturdy. It's heavy duty. you know, you probably drop it on the carpet and like a carpeted floor from up here, and it's still, you know, I don't know about the shadows, but like the packaging would be perfectly fine, you know, and you've got that like metal plate on the back of it. Is like, it's, so you're paying really, mostly what you're paying for is the quality of the shadows and stuff and the packaging itself. And then you've got a little bit of the name for, you know, Pat McGrath for what you're paying for. So this is one of those things where you're not just paying for the brand name, you're mostly paying for the actual product you're getting. So I think it's really worth it if you have the money, you know, for it or anything like that, or if you catch it on a really big sale, or you can get it on like, or if you get it like on Mercari or something from, you know, secondhand from somebody like me that just swatches a lot of palettes and stuff. And there's some of them that just I don't click with or something, which I do have some like that, where they sanitize it and you just have, you know, little swatch marks or something. You can get it for, you know, like 25 more off than what you would normally get on the site, and you're good to go, or something like that. You know, catch it on a sale, catch it on Mercari, catch it on a sale and use Afterpay or something. You know, I'm definitely going to be keeping on the an eye on the Pat McGrath site when like Cyber Monday, Black Friday comes around, because, you know, I don't know if they do big sales. I've only kind of heard of Pat McGrath this year, personally, so I haven't looked into their Black Friday sales and stuff before ever. So if they do have a really amazing sale for like these palettes, I'm going to be keeping an eye out. I'm sure a lot of other people will though too. So I'm sure if they do have an amazing sale, they're going to sell out fast. So I think the Pat McGrath stuff is definitely going to be one that I keep a really close eye on for sales, because if I'm going to get that Mothership 5 palette, that's going to be the only way I do it, is hitting a massive sale, like end of the year sale type thing, Black Friday sale or whatever that they have, and using Afterpay. I really want to try that Mothership 5 palette. That's about the only one that I actually really want to go out of my way to buy for the actual big palettes. Otherwise, I might just get, you know, the other little one or something like that. And those lip balms, they smell amazing. They feel amazing. You can't hardly feel that glitter at all. Like it's not really like, I think if you try, you go, and you try, you can kind of feel just the slight gritty, whatever, from the glitter, but it's so fine. You can't really barely feel it. And it's absolutely beautiful. Like it goes with this look because it's a very soft look. It goes really well. So I think that's amazing. So out of all of this Pat McGrath stuff, I'd say the thing that I don't like is this single. Again, and that's just because it is absolutely not the same color that you see online. Not at all, which coincides with this a little bit, because this is kind of has the same problem with the reds. They're the two reds that are in here, which one of them is this exact shade, which I didn't remember. Otherwise, I wouldn't have gotten the shade at all, because I would have known better if I would have remembered. This shade is in here, and it doesn't look anything like a crimson or anything like what it looks like on the site. And this one is a little bit different on what it looks like on the site as well as to what it actually is in person, because they've got those slight red tints to them. So it seems like the Pat McGrath site does have a little bit of an issue with photographing or getting, you know, a proper representation of their red tinted shades, which might be an issue with this one. I don't know. This doesn't really have, to me, like a lot of super pink and red in it, considering the fact that it is like a pink looking packaging, but it still somehow fits the theme. I don't know, like it's really confusing to me how I feel like it still fits the theme, even though it's not like a bunch of red and pink and everything, you know. It's a nice, it's pretty. So, you know, this probably doesn't have that much of an issue with the representation of colors on the site between that and real life. But that mini palette and that single shade is the one I just really don't like out of this whole package that I have of Pat McGrath stuff. And it's just because it's not accurately represented on the site or anything like that as compared to what it looks like in person. So it's extremely disappointing, especially if you're like, wow, like me, where you're really looking for that perfect crimson foil, you know, or a candy apple red foil or something like that, you know, something that's an actual red, nice bright red foil that's not got that, it's not drifting too much into that pink. It's not drifting too much into like a dark red or a purple, you know, where it's an actual red foil. Like it's very hard to find nice actual red shades, let alone like the foil and shimmer shades like that. So so that just was really disappointing to me. But otherwise, again, it's amazing quality and the color's still beautiful. It's just not the color I wanted and not the color it shows on the site. So other than that, like Pat McGrath stuff seems to be so far, it's not a hit and miss thing. It's amazing quality. The only, issue most I could see most people having is just the price point, and it's really worth it for the most part. Like I said, the lip balm I wouldn't really pay, get multiples for the $19 sale price. I definitely wouldn't personally pay for the full price lip balm. But if I had just money willy-nilly to blow, maybe I might not, though. Still, I'd probably still try and catch them on sale. So I'd say maybe like the Pat McGrath lip stuff. Maybe I haven't tried one of their actual like liquid lips or anything, but like it seems so far from that experience, just from the lip balm, I just probably wouldn't be that interested in their lip stuff, just because it's good quality, but it's just seems a little overly priced for what it is, because you can get some really amazing quality lip stuff on sale from other brands that's just at least a little bit cheaper, if not a lot cheaper. So but when it comes to the shadows, the quality is just absolutely amazing from Pat McGrath, and I think they're very, very much worth it, especially if you can catch them on a sale. But even on a full price, they're very worth it if they're colors that you want, and that again, like, now you guys know, you've seen those shades for like that single and for the little mini palette or whatever, you've seen what they actually look like. So if you actually like those colors, they're still worth it even at full price. So as long as you're like, this is what I'm expecting and what I'm getting. Otherwise, to me, full price, because I was expecting two of those shades to be very different on that little palette, I'd probably only pay the like the sale price for that. But yeah, now I'm just kind of like rambling on and kind of circling myself, but that kind of happens with me a lot because of the AD. I kind of like forget what I'm talking about sometimes and just keep going. Oh my gosh, this thing keeps stuff so cold. I love it. Anyway, that is all the Pat McGrath stuff. I hope you guys really enjoyed the whole entire live. We got the swatching, the doing a look, and doing the whole overview and review of everything. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope that it helps for anybody that is looking into maybe getting any of those items from Pat McGrath, or even Pat McGrath stuff in general, because of I'm fairly certain you could the quality for the other Mothership palettes are the same as this one, quality wise, same with the little singles and everything like that. So so maybe that'll help even with your decision on getting Pat McGrath in general, or getting those specific items. It might help, because you get to see all the colors and what they actually look like and everything like that. So I hope it helps, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. And as usual, I am not good with saying goodbye, so bye.